let's get political. Alright, it's important to note that all the viewpoints expressed in this video are my own and not of the HERPS show, the venue, or any of my sponsors. However, there are other viewpoints expressed in this video. 10 days before this last HERPS Conroe, Sean, the owner of HERPS, was notified that the Secret Service was taking over the venue due to the Trump rally a block away. With little notice and no reconciliation, Sean was forced to put a ton of money into advertising to let people know that it was a one-day show. This included Facebook, billboards, and flyers, and he had to do this despite having the venue booked for well over a year. From what I understand, this was done through a third-party marketing agency and not through Trump himself. However, what an agency does on your behalf can reflect on you as an individual. Despite that, this isn't a Trump hate video. As you'll see later, I was already stopped by Secret Service, and I'm not trying to have a bag thrown over my head and me driven to Area 51. Unless there's cool reptiles there, then you guys hit me up. I'm down for it. But what I do want to reflect on is how the rally affected small business owners and how becoming a one-day show affected the vendors. But before I get into that, I want to touch on something a lot more important. Hidden in the 2,912 pages of the America Competes Act of 2022 hides legislation that would change the Lacey Act. Among many other things, this amendment would prevent certain reptile species from crossing state lines. Now, this provision has been described as something that would fail completely if it were to be tried to be passed on its own, which is why it's hidden in an economic stimulus bill, which is not only disingenuous because it hurts small business, but it also is a reversal of a federal court decision that USARK has already won. This malicious attempt by HSUS and other animal rights groups to keep you from keeping and transporting these animals is not only slimy because it's just them paying off politicians and lobbying just to get their way, but it's also against animal welfare. You have to remember that HSUS gives less than 1% of the money that it raises to animal shelters, and it doesn't have any animal shelters of its own. So stop listening to the fear-mongering and stop listening to those who say that reticulated pythons are gonna take over Maine, and start listening to people who actually work with these animals and know what they're talking about. I'm gonna put a link down below where you can go and support USARK and see the legislation, as well as contact your senators and representatives. In addition to that, I'm gonna put a link where you can purchase this shirt, and 100% of the proceeds go to supporting USARK, who fights for your right to keep animals. So, Saturday's rally was packed. There were 30,000 people by 3 p.m. and I think the final count was around 80,000 people. So we took this opportunity to pass out flyers and get more people interested in the show. And myself, I wanted to get a shot of the mayhem and the chaos down below, so I took my drone to the sky. Very quickly, I was found by Secret Service and informed that in about 10 minutes, a flight restriction was about to be put in place, and if I would have been up during that time, my drone would have been confiscated. So keep in mind, my app gave me no notification of this flight restriction prior to it going into place, and my permission to fly in the area was not communicated with the police or the Secret Service. So if you're flying a drone, make sure you download the Kitty Hawk app, and that will give you notifications of flight restrictions before they happen, and it actually communicates with the police and federal workers in the area. So in talking with them, they told me they had towers everywhere, and the moment I went up, they knew where I was standing and where my drone was. They were super nice, and they told me to put up my drone, which I happily obliged, and I went on my way. But talk about pucker factor of being stopped by the Secret Service.
Yeah.
Oh, we call those the ghost
So,
cars.
I didn't get arrested. So, we had a conversation. They were super polite, super nice, but yeah, I'm not flying anymore today. So, tomorrow when the show's going on, I think I should be clear. So how is it that if I fly a drone, I get Secret Service not stopping me, but you get this assault bird and just get to have it willy-nilly?
Because he's better behaved than your drone, or better behaved than the operator of the drone?
Oh, ouch, ouch.
So how did the one-day show only go? Well, it was packed. People love supporting the HERPS show, and the show was extended by 2 hours and it was still packed all day. However, there's more to consider than just a crowd. Firstly, vendors weren't allowed in the convention center on Saturday, so for those that had animals that needed tending to, they couldn't set up on Friday and leave them unattended on Saturday, so they were forced to come in at 6 a.m. on Sunday to set up. And for a show that went all the way to 6 p.m., plus the drive they would have to do after, it was a lot of extra effort on behalf of the vendors. In addition to that, you can't just measure by the crowd, because you can be surrounded by a lot of lookers and have a lot of potential buyers pass you by because it's so busy in front of your table. So it being crowded is both a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. So a 2-day show definitely gives more possibilities for sales. Finally, if you provide a service, like those giving massages or face painting, even if you're booked all day, 1 day isn't as good as 2 days. You can only service so many people. So I commend Sean for not only doing the 1 day rate, but putting in all the extra effort to make sure that people still showed up for this 1 day show.
Even in the second room here, it has been wall to wall, people being real close to each other basically all day. This is the most open that it's been. And in a second room for a 1 day show, a lot of vendors would probably be pretty nervous, but they've been doing really well.
And at the end of the day, if you're a salesperson and you've got that kind of crowd that we had, you can't really do bad. You just gotta put in the work. So the general consensus was it wasn't a bad show, but it just wasn't as good as a 2-day show. So despite all that, the vendors persevered, but some were perturbed by the lack of consideration for those responsible for forcing us to have a 1 day show.
Listen, man, how do you respond to the fact that the Trump rally is killing small business here at Conroe today?
They didn't kill shit. It wasn't Trump's fucking fault either. It's government building, brother. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Conroe, Texas.
Oh, do you really want me to tell you how I feel?
Yeah.
Like he's a fucking shit, man. How the fuck you gonna fuck up business like that? How do you come in and shut down that event where all these vendors, this is how we make our money?
So, did Trump kill your business today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No. All right, John. 1 day show. How'd you do?
Great.
Great.
Enough to buy more things.
Yeah. So Trump didn't kill your business?
Nope.
All right. 1 day show. Did Trump kill your business?
Love the 1 day show. We're still alive.
Still alive.
Still alive.
Go Soul Geckos.
I didn't do as good as I normally do on a 2-day show, but it is very close to it. Yeah, it definitely didn't kill it.
Kill my business?
Yeah. Did he hurt your business with his rally?
No. I still like the guy.
There it is. November 12th. November 12th.
Good job for the Secret Service.
Yeah. You don't say. Did you see Kyle Rittenhouse earlier?
No.
Yeah.
You serious?
Yeah, no, he was walking around. Who? No, I'm lying.
This is like a fan?
Yeah, I just wanted to get your reaction.
I hate you.
But guys, be sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. All that stuff really helps. And make sure you follow the links down below to where you can support USARK and possibly get a t-shirt. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.
To wrap around.
Oh my gosh.
She's gonna lift that whole body up there.
Oh my gosh.
This is where he gets knocked out.